Our top story, fresh tensions being reported in the sensitive Churachandpur district of Manipur. There are reports of arson at the DC office in the area. Several people said to be injured and a mob seems to have surrounded a police station in the area. My colleague Ratnadeep joins us to explain more. Ratnadeep, what's the latest violence triggered by?
Well, the situation in Churachandpur in Manipur remains very tense at this moment as we speak. Now, since evening, there was a mob build-up outside the office of the Superintendent of Police of the district, and the police forces, security forces had to use force, had to actually use tear gas shells, as well as they had to resort to firing to disperse the crowd. What we are hearing is that several people have sustained injuries, and part of the mob actually broke into the police superintendent's police office. A part of his office was ransacked. That's what we are picking up from official sources. Then another mob actually tried to attack the office of the deputy commissioner of the district. In fact, in the campus of the deputy commissioner's office, some vehicles were torched. That's what we are picking up from official sources. In fact, more reinforcement has been sent to the area, whereas what we are hearing is that there have been people who are injured. Now, what triggered this is actually the Manipur police had put a constable who is posted in Churachandpur under suspension after a video went viral where he was seen with a group of armed miscreants who identified themselves as village volunteers. And therefore, an inquiry has been instituted and he was placed under suspension. And the mob get out the police superintendent of police office asking that this suspension order needs to be withdrawn. And at some point of time, the mob actually went violent, and that is what police sources are telling us. And police had to resort to use of force. However, civil society groups have alleged that the police the security forces started actually use of force, and that resulted into mob turning violent. So there are allegations and counter allegations as well.
Right.
But overall, the situation at this moment as we speak is very, very tensed. That's what we can put out for our viewers. And several people have sustained injuries and they have been rushed to hospital.
Right. Ratnadeep will keep track of the updates there closely with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, amid a political storm over BJP's sexual harassment allegations in Bengal's Sandeshkhali, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee today hit back, targeting the RSS and saying that she has never allowed any injustice in the state. The Bengal Chief Minister accused the BJP of inciting trouble. This as the BJP blamed the Bengal police and Mamata Banerjee for not doing anything to protect women in Sandeshkhali, who the BJP continued to claim had faced sexual abuse. Meanwhile, Parliamentary Committee of Privileges has summoned the Bengal DGP, SP Boshirhat and additional SP Boshirhat to appear before them on 19 February over allegations by Bengal BJP chief over the alleged attack on him.
Under BJP fire over the unrest in Sandeshkhali, Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee hit back today in the State Assembly, blaming both the RSS and the BJP for inciting violence and saying she had never allowed any injustice in her life. But the BJP was unrelenting in its protests, with Bengal Leader of Opposition Shubhendu Adhikari leading this one outside the State Assembly. Sandeshkhali has hit headlines after the BJP accused local TMC strongman Sheikh Shah Jahan's aides of sexual harassment. The ruling party has trashed the charges. Shah Jahan, a local strongman who has been on the run for a month now after ED officials visited his home for a raid, came under a mob attack.
बहुत ही शर्मनाक बात कही है कि जो महिलाएं टीम के साथ हाफ कवर करके अपने खिलाफ यौन शोषण की बात कह रही थी, उसको उन्होंने कहा है कि ये महिलाएं अपना मुंह खोल के क्यों नहीं बोलती, मैं इनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करूंगी। और क्या कहा उन्होंने? Sandeshkhali is a burner of RSS. Why you have become so ugly, so cruel, so anti-woman, Mamata ji?
যা বলেছেন স্পষ্ট করে বলেছেন কিভাবে একটা অঞ্চলকে গন্ডগোল করার জন্য একটা প্লট তৈরি হয়েছে, কিভাবে ইডি ঢুকছে, তারপর থেকে কিভাবে মিথ্যা অভিযোগ তোলা হচ্ছে। যে জায়গাটা সাংগঠনিকভাবে তৃণমূল দুর্বল, সেই জায়গাটায় এমনভাবে সিপিএম বিজেপি মিলে একটা নাটকের দৃশ্যপট মঞ্চ সাজাচ্ছে যাতে মানুষকে বিভ্রান্ত করা যায়।
The Sandeshkhali issue is playing out just months before the crucial Lok Sabha election. In the 2019 election, besides bagging 18 parliamentary seats out of the 42, the BJP raised its vote share to 40%. This time, the BJP is aiming to power ahead, and keeping up the pressure on Mamata Banerjee and the Bengal government suits its purpose. On the floor of the Legislative Assembly, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee insisted that a police team consisting of women is going door to door in Sandesh Khali to find out if there are any genuine complaints, and if reports are filed, they will be investigated, she assured the House. But as the TMC and Mamata Banerjee come under attack from the BJP, the TMC says the BJP is playing politics on a sensitive issue. With camera person Aniruddha Tripathi in Kolkata, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Meanwhile, the Sandesh Khali matter has reached the Supreme Court. A petition in the top court has sought probe by either an SIT or a CBI team, and a court-monitored probe, just like in the case of Manipur. Moving on, and in a big setback for Sharad Pawar, Maharashtra Speaker has concluded that the Ajit Pawar faction is the real NCP. Maharashtra Speaker said, and I quote, all MLAs of Ajit Pawar group are eligible, unquote. The Maharashtra Speaker said his decision was based on the fact that the larger chunk of NCP MLAs, 41 in total, supported Ajit, whereas only 12 MLAs supported the Sharad Pawar faction. Remember, this comes in almost a month after the Maharashtra Speaker Rahul Narvekar had ruled in favour of the Shinde faction, declaring them the real Shiv Sena.
This verdict is a tenable, sustainable and justified verdict. It has been given on the basis of the sound principles of law that have been established in accordance with the guidelines given by the Apex Court and disqualification rules that are prescribed in this behalf. All have been adhered to, and a reasoned and justifiable order has been delivered today.
पूरे कानून को पैर के नीचे कुचल दिया है और कुछ नहीं है।
जो 10th शेड्यूल का आधार दिया है, हालांकि
10th शेड्यूल को बोले 10th शेड्यूल कुछ है ही नहीं। ऐसे मामले में 10th शेड्यूल का क्या काम है? बोले इनका अंदरूनी झगड़ा है। तो किसी भी पार्टी में लोग बाहर गिरते तो अंदरूनी झगड़ा होता ही है, पर अंदरूनी झगड़ा कब हुआ, कैसे हुआ, उसके ये क्या है, वो सब देखना पड़ता है ना।
हम बहुत खुश है, हम बहुत समाधानी है। आज का जो निर्णय अध्यक्ष जी ने जो दिया, वो कायदे को, कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी को, सबको सामने रखते हुए आज जो उन्होंने फैसला दिया है, वो उसका हम स्वागत करते हैं।
अजीत दादा पवार जी को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूँ, और लोकशाही में मेजॉरिटी को महत्व होता है, ये मैं हर बार कहा है, और स्पीकर जी ने जो डिसीजन दिया है मेजॉरिटी के ऊपर और मेरिट के ऊपर दिया है।
Time for an NDTV exclusive now, and an exclusive interaction with Ashok Chavan, the former Maharashtra Chief Minister who quit the Congress and recently joined the BJP, reveals why he ditched Congress. This is his first interview after exiting the party.
महाराष्ट्र के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री, 2 बार सांसद, 4 बार विधायक रहे अशोक चौहान जी इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं। अशोक जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अपना कीमती वक्त हमें देने के लिए, और बधाई राज्यसभा की उम्मीदवारी के लिए।
थैंक यू।
और इससे ही जुड़ा सर एक सवाल, जो लोग कह रहे हैं कि 38 साल की वफादारी आपने इसी उम्मीदवारी के लिए छोड़ी और भाजपा का दामन आपने थामा, उनको आज आप क्या जवाब देना चाहेंगे?
नहीं, इस अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए मैंने छोड़ी, इसमें कोई सच्चाई नहीं है, क्योंकि मैं लोकसभा लड़ चुका हूँ, 4 लोकसभा में 2 बार जीत चुका हूँ, एमएलए में कई साल जीतते आ रहा हूँ। तो मैंने कभी चुनाव से मैंने अलग नहीं समझा अपने आप को। कोई भी अपॉर्चुनिटी चुनाव की जब भी मुझसे कहा गया, मैंने कॉन्टेस्ट किया है, और लाख सवा लाख से वोट से मैं चुनकर आया हूँ। तो इसमें कोई सच्चाई नहीं कि आई शिफ्टेड ओनली फॉर गेटिंग अ राज्यसभा नॉमिनेशन। तो कांग्रेस में भी मांग सकता था ना, मैं आज कांग्रेस की एक जगह थी तो मैं कांग्रेस से भी मांग सकता था, वो इशू नहीं है उसमें। सवाल ऐसा है कि हालात जो मौजूदा कांग्रेस विज़ाविज़ बीजेपी के है, तो मैं समझ रहा हूँ कि कांग्रेस की कोई लड़ाई की तैयारी जो स्टेट में होनी चाहिए, दुर्भाग्य से उसमें कोई खास नज़र नहीं आ रहा है, और हम लड़ेंगे ही नहीं तो जीतेंगे कैसे? तो ये लड़ने की तैयारी यहाँ पर कुछ ठीक से नहीं है ना। वर्कर्स को एंथ्यूज करने के बारे में कुछ फैसले हैं, लोगों की मानसिकता, वर्कर्स की मानसिकता, मौजूदा ग्राउंड रियलिटी क्या है, उसके ऊपर एक्शन प्लान क्या है, हमें उम्मीदवारों का चयन करना है, उसकी तैयारी क्या है। 1.5 साल से वक्त ज़ाया हो रहा है और कुछ नहीं हो रहा है। सो I think that the better opportunity lies. अकेला चुन कर आऊँगा और यहाँ कुछ होगा तो फ़ायदा क्या है? नेशनल लेवल पे काम करने का मौका अगर मिलता है और बीजेपी जैसे नेशनल पार्टीज़ का आज लोगों का मूड ऑफ द नेशन अगर मैं कहूँगा कि लोग बीजेपी की तरफ झुकाव दिन ब दिन बढ़ते जा रहा है, अपोजिशन कमज़ोर होने के कारण निश्चित तौर पर बेसिकली जो काम भाजपा ने किया है अंडर द प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स लीडरशिप, आई थिंक अमेजिंग काम हुआ है. ये तो सब बात मानते ही हैं, दिखाई विजिबल है, ऐसे कोई चुप के तो है नहीं. आई थिंक चाहे वो नेशनल सिनेरियो हो, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे पब्लिक रिलेशंस की बात हो, चाहे वो इंडिविजुअल गरीब SC/ST के बेनिफिट्स की स्कीम्स हो, प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना की बात हो, ऐसे कई चीज़ें हैं जिसके ऊपर एक अच्छा काम दिखाई दे रहा है. इट्स विजिबल, कहीं भी बात ये नहीं, विजिबल है. ये ध्यान में रखते हुए आई थिंक द मूड ऑफ द नेशन जो है और पिलग्रिम सेंटर्स डेवलप हो रहे हैं, तो लोगों का रुझान दिखाई जो दे रहा है कि संभावना पूरी ताकत से भाजपा की तैयारी इन टर्म्स ऑफ वर्क, इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉलिटिकल मैनेजमेंट अच्छा हुआ है.
Staying with political news, the National Conference is part of the Congress-led India bloc. This is what ex-Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Umar Abdullah clarified hours after categorical assertions by his father Farooq Abdullah. That Farooq Abdullah, in fact, had said earlier in the day that the party will contest elections on its own strength. Umar Abdullah has now said that the National Conference will remain part of India bloc and is in fact in talks with the Congress for 3 of the 6 Lok Sabha seats in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh.
National Conference was a member of the India Alliance. We continue to remain a member of the India Alliance. On the question of seat sharing, we have been very clear for the last few months that in the 6 seats of erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, 3 seats in the valley, including Rajouri Poonch, Jammu and Udhampur. 3 seats are already with India Alliance, the ones that National Conference won in the previous parliament election. Therefore, the seats that are to be discussed are those seats that are held with the BJP. Right. We are firm on that position.
In a historic judgment, the Supreme Court has struck down the electoral bond scheme on the grounds that it violates citizens' right to information. The Chief Justice said that the scheme was unconstitutional and arbitrary and may lead to a quid pro quo arrangement between political parties and donors. The Congress and Left welcomed the verdict, saying they were vindicated, while the BJP said that the scheme was an attempt to bring more transparency into political funding.
A big verdict from the Supreme Court today, bringing in major changes in the funding of elections and impacting the Indian polity just before the 2024 general elections.
There is also a legitimate possibility that financial contribution to a political party would lead to quid pro quo arrangements because of the close nexus between money and politics. Quid pro quo arrangements could be in the form of introducing a policy change or granting a license to the person making financial contribution to the political party in power. The electoral bond scheme that they infringe upon the right to information of the voter by anonymizing contributions through electoral bonds. The electoral bond scheme 2018 will have to be struck down as unconstitutional.
The poll panel will now have to publish names of all those who purchase electoral bonds on their website. Significantly, this will be done retrospectively. So the identity of those who bought bonds in the past will now be revealed even if they bought them anonymously. However, those who have bought bonds in the past 15 days can now withdraw and get a refund. The poll panel will now disclose the names, time, amount to be published by the Election Commission by the 13th of March in time for the announcement of the Lok Sabha elections. For the petitioners, the verdict was perfectly timed, ahead of the Lok Sabha elections expected to be announced early next month.
So right to information is a right of our every citizen, so it should be transparent, and the money, what amount of money and which people give it, it should be disclosed to every people.
We'll get to know as to who gave whom to which political party, and this doesn't apply only to the BJP, it will apply to state governments also.
The BJP was quick to defend the scheme and question the earlier scheme and the lack of transparency and use of black money in political funding of parties.
This decision was undertaken for a very laudable objective, to bring in transparency in electoral funding. चुनाव में कैश का प्रभाव कम हो, उसके लिए भी लाया गया था. अब माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक फैसला किया है तो हम उनका सम्मान करते हैं।
तो मैं मानता हूँ बिल्कुल पारदर्शिता के लिए थी, बिल्कुल साफ सुथरा जो है वो फंडिंग हो। हम अगर आज से 30 साल 40 साल पहले कहें कि कांग्रेस पार्टी को बहुत ज्यादा, उस समय तो खैर ये इस तरह की पारदर्शी फंडिंग नहीं थी, पता नहीं कहाँ से आते थे उनके, और हमें तो कुछ नहीं मिलता था, तो इसका कोई तर्क है क्या? ये कुतर्क है।
The focus now shifts to what will happen next. How will the scheme be evolved now that the anonymous electoral bond scheme has been held unconstitutional? Will the government consult stakeholders, including the Election Commission, political parties, the RBI and others, to frame a new process, a new scheme which will ensure transparency and accountability, and also take into account that political funding has to take place for political parties ahead of general elections? Will it be through an ordinance or through a notification? These are things which will have to be worked out. With camera person Kannan, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
We'll be slipping into a short break at this point. More news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, Infosys faced Plack in the Karnataka Assembly from a BJP MLA who targeted the firm over the fact that its campus in Hubballi had failed to create any new jobs. The BJP MLA in fact demanded that land allocated at a subsidized rate to Infosys for the campus there should be revoked.
India's iconic IT giant Infosys is now facing fire from the Hubli-Dharwad West MLA and BJP's deputy leader of opposition, Arvind Bellad. 58 acres of land in Hubli-Dharwad was allotted at subsidized prices to the IT major, which promised to create a campus and generate jobs. But a decade later, the project hasn't taken off. The BJP leader is demanding that the company deliver on its promise.
Out of the 50 plus acres land, only in 2 or 3 acres land a building has come up. But as far as we locals are aware, not even a single employment is created. In the rest of the land, they have put mango tree, guava tree and other trees.
Infosys has not responded to queries on the issue, but Bellad says 58 acres of land was allotted at less than half the price to the company. The ruling Congress government says it will look into the issue.
We have to examine why they have not done any activities over there. So I will ask my principal secretary to check why they have still not come up with this one. Accordingly, we will act on that.
Companies like the Infosys have given Bengaluru a new identity as the IT city. And now, smaller cities expect similar progress. The Hubli-Dharwad issue is a delicate one for both the iconic company as well as the state government. With camera person Govind Pratibaraman in Bengaluru for NDTV.